Dear Dad, I was thinking about all the fun we had together, all the play fighting and how I idolized you as my hero. This all ended for me at the age of 12, and I need to tell you why. It all began with a group of 6 or 7 boys, and we were heading out to Bluebell Wood. There's this small river that meandered through it, and we used to dare each other to jump across until one of us fell in. Now, up until this point, I'd had no sex education. When I was 6, an older boy of 9 told me how my parents had sex, which I thought was ridiculous. He then told me it was true, and he totally sealed my disbelief that telling me that 9 months later, my dad would have a baby out of his bottom. It's true. So anyway, back at Bluebell Wood, Martin Fox is really eager to tell us something that his older brother had told him about masturbation. And about this wonderful thing, if you could get it, called the itch. We were all fascinated. None of us wanted to jump streams, so we sat around in a circle under the trees, masturbating together, and not knowing what the hell we were doing. Now, soon after this, Stephen Green found his dad's stack of nude magazines, which I used to daily masturbate to in his house. I was looking for this elusive thing called the itch, and when I found it, it got me banned from Stephen's house. About the same time, Dad, I had my very first special kiss. It was with Denise Thompson. She was petite and pretty, blonde, and she always looked and smelt and dressed really good. And she let me touch her breast, which was the first time for me. Then she pulls me into her parents' bedroom because they were out. She drags me on top of her on the bed, and I don't know what's going on. It's fabulous. I've got these strange feelings going on between my legs, but I was afraid, and I fled. Now, for the next 2 weeks, she chased me, and I just retreated into the safety of my male friends. Finally, I plucked up the courage to go and tell her how much I liked her, a lot. She treated me with total indifference. She completely rejected me, and there started the great chase to no avail. Now, Dad, for the part that has haunted me for many, many years. This all started with my best friend Squiz, a group of schoolboys. They used to chase other schoolboys around the school playground, rugby tackle them, pull down their pants and their underpants, and Squiz would bite their bum. Yeah, that's what we did back then. I remember saying to these friends of mine, if he comes anywhere near me, I'll kick the shit out of him. Ironically, I became Squiz's instant best friend. So we're at Brian Woodhouse's, and there's Squiz and me, and there's these 2 sisters, Brenda and Janet, no parents around, and a large bed in the living room. Squiz and Brian are on the bed with Brenda, and I think they're having sex with her. I'm hidden away under a blanket with Janet on the couch, and we're kissing and cuddling, and it's really sweet and nice. And then all of a sudden, this blanket gets pulled off. Squiz and Brian, they grab hold of me, they pull me away from Janet, they drag me across the room, throw me on top of Brenda on the bed, and they expect me to perform whilst they're jeering me on like a couple of fucking soccer hooligans. Yeah! Yeah. It sounds funny, doesn't it? Well, the truth is I felt pathetic and inadequate. And I vividly remember looking down at my small limp penis lying next to Brenda's messy vagina and wishing that this wasn't happening to me. The rest is a blank. I do remember walking home in a state of shock and disgrace. And knowing that I couldn't talk to anybody about this, Dad. I couldn't talk to you, my mom, nobody. My best friend, Squiz, had just betrayed me. I was 12. And I felt totally alone. Now, over the next 2 weeks, I went back and I had private sex with Brenda twice. Both times were equally as unfulfilling and as unpleasant. But, you see, I think I was trying to prove something to myself, and maybe Squiz. The whole experience, it left me completely mistrusting all men and unable to have any form of committed, loving relationship ever. Only now, at 57, can I happily say that after years of painful inner work and deep soul searching, that I've finally healed this. And please understand, Dad, that I do not blame you in any way for any of this. I just wish that you had been there for me that night so you could have talked to me, because I know that you would have made it all okay. I still love you, Dad, and you're still my hero. So, about 6 months ago, I sent him this letter. And about 2 weeks later, I got a phone call from him. And we're talking about the weather and the family and the usual stuff. And finally, I said to him, "So, Dad, did you get my letter?" And he went, aye, lad, I got it, aye. So I said, "Well, what did you think?" And he said, "Well, we don't talk about things like that, do we?" Exactly. I mean, you got to laugh. And then my mum gets on the phone, and we've got this three-way going on, and she's talking about everything. And finally, she says, "You know that letter you sent your dad? Well, we threw it away. We know you need to move on." And that was probably the biggest part of the healing, because I did need to move on. And so I did. Now, my dad died about 3 months ago, July the 2nd. And I miss him, although I've got a new buddy in spirit. And let me add a little addendum to all of this. There are many children out there who are having sex at the age of 11, 12 years old. So for any parents in the room, or any of you who are connected to kids of that age, and you're thinking that you want to talk to them, but you don't know what to say, please talk to them so they can avoid the sort of experience I went through. And if you don't know what to say to them, there are people on the tables outside, and they will tell you what to say. Thank you.